Hey everybody, welcome back to Talkin Goofs. This is the first time we've done a podcast, or I've done a podcast in a while, and boy am I excited about it. If you're a returning listener to Talkin Goofs, then you know what this is all about. It's a comedy podcast run by me, Aaron Naylor, a comedian, and it's mostly about jokes, but there's other stuff too. It's about comedy, jokes, writing, all that good stuff that we need to know more about. So if you are new to this show, I hope you're new. I would like to have more people listening to this. That would be very cool. But I know I'm up against literally trillions of other shitty comedians doing their own shitty podcast. So I'm trying to make mine just a cut above. This is them. This is what I want to be. Just a little bit. Not much. Nothing crazy. But yeah, I've been plugging away. I don't think I've done a podcast since, July, maybe? June, I don't remember, maybe June. Since then, I have shot a special, my first comedy special, which is coming out in a couple weeks through 4x3 Productions. Very exciting. I'm very excited about that. I just got the rough cut of it yesterday, and I like it. I think it's good. I shot it in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, which if you've never been to Asheville, you gotta go. You gotta roll down the mountain in a barrel full of hipster beer. It's worth it. It's cool. You do get drunk really quickly when you do that. It rules. Shot it with Model Face Comedy. Model Face is Melissa Hahn. Melissa rules. If you're a comedian looking to go to Asheville, hit up Melissa. She runs good shows. Yeah, that's coming out in a couple weeks. On my birthday, hopefully. I am a New Year's Eve twin baby, but the other twin's perpetually in prison. So really, I'm not even a twin. It's just me, because God doesn't like bad twins, and I'm a good one. So what am I gonna do? Anyway, yeah. Ever since the last time I did a podcast, I've gotten two cool new things. First, microphone. Got it off of Amazon. Don't tell me I'm a bad person. Shut up. Doesn't matter. We're all just trying to live. Also got a camera, which hopefully you're watching this on YouTube, and that means I figured out how to sync the MP3 with the MP4, and I'm not just using the microphone from the camera. You just got to keep on learning. Comedy is all about work. Living is all about work, and that's why I'm a communist. But yeah. For those of you who are new, this is Talkin Goofs, a podcast about Talkin Goofs. You gotta have fun. Fun. Keep having fun. So yeah, this is a podcast about fun, and yeah, normally I just talk about comedy, what I've been up to. Since I shot the special, it's really just been building a new hour or half hour. You build in blocks typically as a stand-up comedian, and I do really short jokes, so it's been a lot of digging. Trying to find old jokes. I happened upon, this might be useful to other comics. Gary Goulman is a great comedian out of New York, and he's put out a lot of really great specials. He had, a few years ago, he did a thing on Twitter where every day for like a year, I think, he had like a comedy advice, little tidbit. I think that was back when Twitter, you could only do like 100 characters, 60 characters or something. I think it was 48 for a while, something like that. But anyway, it's called To Ensure Peak Scrivening. It's a compiled list of all of those writing tips and joke tips and blah, blah, blah. So that's been a real help. And one of those things, this is something I've always done anyway, in stand-up, is, go back to your old stuff. If you've listened to me ever talk about stand-up, if you've listened to this podcast before, and you've listened to me ever talk about like joke writing and stuff like that, I always hearken, is that the word? I always Barry Larkin about going back to your old stuff and trying to, rewrite it. Because if you have stuff, this is what I've noticed at least since I started writing jokes about 11 years ago. If the idea is there, it'll always be there, right? The idea is good enough, hopefully, in your head. I write a lot of jokes that I consider evergreen. They're about just stuff that exists always, basically, like whales or fire or whatever. That'd be kind of scary if fire stopped existing. It'd be kind of neat. I don't know. But, yeah. You keep all those old jokes, and then you can go back to them later when you're better at writing and you've figured out how to write and put together a set or a chunk, whatever you want. And then you rewrite the joke just a little bit. You don't even really, if it's only, like my jokes are normally a sentence, 1 to 3 or 4 sentences long. It's not a lot of rewriting, but it is a lot of like nitpicking stuff, like little words here and there just to make it more digestible and well understood to get the joke across. Another thing I've noticed about myself is I've tried to make most of my jokes so complicated to understand to make myself seem smart that they don't work. And learning to tie my ego up in a dark alley and shoot it in the head has really helped, honestly. Because some of my jokes are getting laughs now, which rules. And if you see me in the past, you know that that is very difficult for me because I am an incredibly smart comedian, but not a funny one. No, I'm actually very funny. So yeah, that's what I've been up to the past 6 or so months. I think I shot my special in June, middle of June. It's almost 6 months exactly. And I've gotten about since then I've gotten about 25 minutes of new stuff. Some of it is like brand new, which I'm really happy about because I'd been in quite a rut for a while, and I think part of that was having to focus so much on the stuff I've already got with the special and touring, and it's hard for me to prioritize writing. It's hard for me to prioritize multiple things at the same time. I don't know if that's like a trope for comedians or like cis men. I don't know, or anyone. I can't if I'm like focusing heavy on touring, that becomes the number one thing for however long I'm doing it. But like there's probably a 2-month period where all I was doing was rewriting jokes, coming up with new stuff, and just kind of in general putting together the new set. And now I'm just focusing on doing that, which I think is good, but I've kind of stalled in writing new stuff recently, and I would like to get back to that. So if anybody has any advice on how to juggle 2 things at once, which isn't very hard if you have both hands, but I can't. I don't know why. It's difficult for me. So if anybody has any advice on that, just hit me up, please. More than likely, I know you very well, and we are friends. If you're a stranger, you can lie to me and tell me we're friends. Tell me we met somewhere in Colorado 5 years ago after a show or something, and we really hit it off as pals. You could just say that. I remember one time I just ripped somebody's weed pen, and I've probably run into that person since then, but I don't know who they are. If I ripped your weed pen, and by ripped I mean took a big old fat toke, huge toke, off of it in probably 2018, in either Denver or Fort Collins, it may be Boulder, please reach out. You owe me more weed, and we are friends. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Just been dicking around. I got a job walking dogs, which is a very classic job for somebody who's not going to be walking dogs for much longer. Nobody does this. Walks dogs forever. That's the next book I write. That's what it's going to be called. Nobody walks dogs forever. I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer. And somehow I'm still an alcoholic. Come on. Wah, wah, wah. No, that wasn't the right keys. I don't know. So I have a tiny keyboard. It's called the Concert Mate 350 by a company called Realistic. Here I'll show the camera. It's a little white keyboard. My grandma got my brother and I each a keyboard when we were younger. So she wanted to somehow teach us how to play instruments, but she herself, I don't think, knows how to play instruments. Like we would make little shoebox guitars with like shoestrings and an old box and shit like that. It was really fun, really cool for a kid. But she did get us like this actual instrument when we were little, and it's I've always wanted to do something with it and passively learn how to play. So I think I'm going to start doing that, and I would love to bring it on stage because my comedy requires music for some reason. Dimitri Martin really fucked up the rest of us by playing 15 different instruments in one special. I gotta figure out how to play bells. Come on. Seriously? Zach Galifianakis had to play a big-ass piano really well. Why? I gotta play a Concert Mate 350. And I'm excited about it. I think that'll be fun and cool. But, you know, I'm still trying to learn to do comedy. I'm 11 years in. How long is it going to take me to do it? It doesn't matter. So anyway, so Talkin Goofs is basically just Talkin Goofs. And we got a few things we're going to do here. I get a lot of emails. You know, I put out an email blast not too long ago when I decided to start doing this podcast more regularly and invest in it. I bought this art behind me 3 years ago at a bar in Kansas City. If you are new here, I am from Missouri, northern Missouri, close to Kansas City. So if I bring Kansas City up a weird amount of times, it's because of that. I do currently live in Chicago, which is not a city in Missouri. It is a city that is its own state. I don't really know which state I live in. It's not Missouri and it's not Illinois. It's not Kansas either. So yeah, I bought that art. It was $1,000, and I had to. So I don't know who painted it, so don't ask. I just like it. It looks cool, and I like flowery stuff. So so I got a lot of questions for comedy advice, stuff like that. So we're gonna do that right now, and we've got sponsors. Isn't that crazy? We've got sponsors. My manager hit me up on the old email, and she was like, "Aaron, I've got this great sponsor. They want to sponsor your podcast, Talkin Goofs." She put it in all caps because it's very important. So we'll get to that later. Finally making the big time. You know what I mean? So let's start with questions real quick. This one is from Jake from Minneapolis. He says, "Hey Aaron, I just started doing comedy a few months ago. When am I going to get famous?" Jake, I think you're on the way. This podcast is going to provide that push. That's just what I've done for people. At no fault of my own. I didn't do it on purpose. I don't want these people to be famous. But Jake, I think you've got the goods. So, maybe, I don't know, say something bad in front of a bunch of good people. Any attention is good attention, apparently. Make sure it gets on TikTok. Make sure your parents see it. Make sure everybody who loves you is upset and disappointed. And then you'll truly be an edgy comedian, because that's all that matters anymore. So this next one is, oh, jeez. I'm so tired. I had to wrestle a bunch of snakes earlier. They were swallowing one of the dogs. together. They were like kissing with the dog in between their mouth. But anyway, this next question is from Tim from beautiful Macon, Georgia. Hey Aaron, love the new facial hair. Thank you. So I scrub my eyes every night, but every morning around 7:06 a.m. I wake up and see a dark figure slowly inching towards me, and I fear for my life. Do you have any advice? So yeah, what I would do, bud, is every night before you go to sleep, put on one of those sleep masks that you see people on like airplanes and stuff wearing, because then your sleep paralysis demon will think you're a superhero, and he won't mess with you. And also remember this, you are its sleep paralysis demon also. So there's got to be some respect between the both of you. So consider that. Maybe he's not trying to scare you. Maybe he's just trying to make a friend. Anyway, this is from Aston, from beautiful Tucson, Arizona. It's where I started doing comedy. And never went back. There's nothing wrong with Tucson. Tucson's cool. Dear Aaron, I'm a comedian and I really need some advice. Well, good call, bud. Hitting me up. Should I pay someone to come to my shows specifically to heckle me so I can get clips from it to post on TikTok? No. This one's from Ronnie from Louisiana. Hey Aaron, what kind of music have you been jamming out to lately? Ronnie, that's a very interesting question. I think it's something not a lot of people know about me is that I love music. I love jamming. Recently I've been listening to the sound of the way you feel when you're in a place that you think is dangerous, but nobody's there, but you still feel like somebody's there. It's an album called Ominous Darkness. It's not on Spotify. It's not on Apple. It's not on Amazon. It's only on Pandora, but the part of Pandora that you have to get like a key code for. It's like opening Pandora's box and then not getting anything but spooky sounds. It's kind of like drone metal. That's where drones slam into each other, while the lead singer from Disturbed screams about it. I've also been listening to Disturbed's second album, Believe. It's really good. The next question. This is from Jennifer from St. Louis. Aaron, I've been saving up money for years, and I have no idea what for anymore. Do you remember what I was saving money for? No. Sorry. Next one's from Tinsel, out of Idaho Falls. Hey Aaron, that new joke rules. Thanks, I didn't even say it yet. But anyway, I just started being a vegan, but I've got all this human meat inside of my fridge still. What should I do with it? Well, if it's up to me, send it my way. But seriously, you should donate that to a soup kitchen, some kind of free food program in Idaho Falls or wherever you donate food. Because the worst thing that can happen to food is that it goes to waste. So, Tinsel, I hope you have a good day. And this is the last question. This is from Marcus from beautiful New York City. I haven't been in a while. I would like to go back. Hey Aaron, sick sweatshirt, dude. Target. Anyway, I'm currently drowning in the Hudson River. What should I do? Well, thanks for reaching out to me. If I were you, I would do what our ancestors have done hundreds of millions of times before and evolve. Grow gills and fins. Befriend the locals. Become their new god. Lure fishermen to the deep belows. And don't forget to just take some time every now and then to reflect on where you came from and how far you've come. That's it. Marky Mark? Is this Mark Wahlberg again? All he ever does is drown in the Hudson River. That dude's nuts. But yeah, that was questions from real people. Questions from real people. This is a very good podcast. The next thing we're going to do is story time. Story time. Story time. It's story time. Story time. Story time. It's story time. We're going to read some short stories that I found in an old chest in an abandoned Casey's gas station in Waterloo, Iowa. This one is called Statues in a Museum. He stared and stared and stared again as the old folks got off that little bus that drove them everywhere. He watched as they hobbled, limped, and shuffled closer to the door. They pulled out wads of dollar bills and their IDs. These old fucks were gonna see some tits. That was Statues in a Museum. The next one is called Cooked. He clocked in, cracked his knuckles, and thought, it doesn't get much better than this. As he tied the apron tight and put his chef's hat on, he grabbed the biggest can of tomato soup you've ever seen, opened it up, dumped it on his cutting board, and went to town with that big old knife. He is the soup kitchen chef, and he is good. That was Cooked. The next one, and the final story we're going to tell before we get to our sponsors, is titled Keep Dreaming. He dreamt of a Pegasus that had wings for legs, and legs where his wings should have been. You can't just put a Pegasus down, even the really weird ones, said Zeus. The man dreaming was speechless. Zeus let him fly the freak Pegasus, and they flew straight into the sun, which was colder that day for some reason. He woke up and never slept again. Well, we hope that freakish Pegasus is doing well. Wings for legs, legs for wings. I wonder if it feels the same way that we feel whenever we wake up with our legs asleep and fall on the floor, slamming our face into the hard wood. We may never know. I hope you dream of Pegasi tonight. Pegasi, Pegasus, Pegasus. I hope you are a Pegasus tonight. And now on to our sponsors. I'm very happy about this. This is the first time I've had a sponsor on my podcast, and it's honestly the coolest thing that's ever happened. So I haven't read it yet. I don't know what it is. I'm just happy that they want to sponsor me. So real quick, we'll do a sponsor intro. Sponsors. All right, sick. So today's sponsor of this episode is a company called Hands. Are you tired of contributing to humanity's early demise by using dog bags to pick up after your dog? Yeah, guilty. Help save the planet by using Hands. Wait for your dog to take that squat towards hell and shove your hands under his or her waiting anus. Catch the waste and dispose of it however way you like. Go to handsavetheworld.com and use promo code Aaron Loves Hands to get 4% off your next order of Hands. So we check out Hands, I guess. So we're about to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed Talkin Goofs. I'll start doing it more since I have invested most of the money I've made walking dogs for the past 9 months into getting stuff for this. I do want to talk about something very serious. The comedy world lost a good guy and a great comedian, even better person recently, I think last week. Kenny DeForest passed away. We all loved Kenny. He's a great guy. He recommended me for JFL. I didn't know him super well. We'd done shows before. I'd opened for him before, and he was one of the headliners for the first year of Fountain City Comedy Festival, which I helped co-produce. And yeah, he was in a really terrible accident last week and passed away, unfortunately. And we are all still reeling from that. So, hug your friends, hug anybody, really. Love people, because, at any point they could be gone. Kenny, rest in peace. We love you, buddy. It really stinks. I'm gonna fly back to Missouri and hug my mom. Because I know she keeps money in her back pocket, so I'm gonna steal that. And I just need some money. She gets money because she's on disability for a very real thing. She has a really bad knee. She can't work. She was a nurse. She can't do that anymore. She's just got a bad knee. She's just a bad knee. I'm not stealing money from somebody dying. She'd give it to me if I asked, but I don't know. I don't want to do that. It's easier just to steal it. So yeah, hug everyone you love, and keep doing what you love to do. Comedy is what I love to do. I also, I love my girlfriend very much. She's great. We have a dog, and he's okay. I'm learning to love him. Every day is a trial, and he is the error. But yeah, so after this, I'm gonna go throw my dog against the wall and then hug my beautiful girlfriend. And I would suggest you do the same thing, not to my dog or my girlfriend. Maybe if you want to my dog. I don't beat my dog. I don't actually do that. Get off my fucking back, guys. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, let me know. Send me an email, hit me up on something. My email is nailercomedy@gmail.com, spelled exactly the way you think all of it should be spelled. I've got shows coming up. I'm done for this year. I'm done for 2023, but I got a lot of cool stuff in 2024. In January, I'll be in Cincinnati, Minneapolis, Eau Claire. February, I'll be in Seattle. Pretty pumped about that. That's going to be sick. I'll be in, oh my god, where am I going to be at? I'm doing, Columbus, Ohio. The end, March? I got a lot of stuff booked already, which is very cool. I need to keep booking stuff. If anybody wants actual comedy advice, something I would advise is just to keep bothering people about trying to do their shows. You're already doing most of the work for them by asking and trying to get booked on their show. Don't feel weird trying to, asking people to be on their show, unless you're bad at comedy and you know it. Most of you don't know that though. So, use your own discretion, I guess. I don't know what that means. But in March I'm in Hanover, Pennsylvania at the Church of Satire Comedy Club. I'm in Pierre, South Dakota, which if you didn't know, that's the capital of South Dakota. It's a town of 10,000 people. It's pretty cool. I'm in Lincoln that weekend. I'm doing Cozy's Comedy Club in Newport News, Virginia in April. I'll be in Denver in May, and then I'm doing the Comedy Cabin in Wisconsin in June. I got a bunch of shit, and I'm just trying to get more shit. You know what I mean? That's what animals constantly say when they don't stop eating. That's what my dog says all the time. I've already shit 20 times today, and you know what? I gotta shit more. That's my dog. So anyway, yeah, that's Talkin Goofs. Thank you so much. Keep an eye out for my special. It's going to be called Born Illiterate. It should be coming out in about 13 days, I think, hopefully. I just sent them my notes yesterday about it, all the stuff and the special thanks, and working title, all that jazz. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be fun and cool, and it's taken 10 years to put that together, but I think it was, clearly I believe in it, and I think it's worth it. And yeah, thanks to everybody who helped me along with it. You'll be thanked in the thing at the end in the credits. More than likely. I tried to somehow include everybody I love in some way, shape, or form, but that would have been a lot, so I didn't write out everybody. So don't feel left out. Just know that you are in there in spirit, especially if you're dead. So anyway, thank you so much. Goodbye. I love you.